If you book a flight from Porto, Portugal or Marrakesh, Morocco to Paris, France, then you may end up landing 84 miles away from the city that you're trying to visit. You'll land at a small rural airport closer to Belgium than to the city associated with the airport. The drive from the airport to the center of Paris will be more than 2 hours. This isn't an isolated phenomenon. Airports that serve Oslo, Frankfurt, and Munich are all around 70 miles from their cities, with it taking about an hour or maybe a bit more to drive from the airport to the city. All of these airports are listed on flight sites like Google Flights as part of these cities, but you can land and then be like an hour or maybe even more from these cities, and that just adds more hassle to your travels. So if you take a car or a train, and that can be pretty expensive depending on where you are. So my question is, why are so many airports so far from the cities that they cover? Well, there are many reasons. Number one, there may already be a closer airport. Some cities have other airports closer to the center. For example, Washington, D.C.'s close airport is Reagan National, which is only about 3 miles from the center of the city. This airport only has a few flights out of the country and often serves business travelers. Dulles International Airport, which has flights to every continent except Australia, is 24 miles from the center of D.C. Dulles was built in the 60s. The Reagan Airport, the closer one, was built in the 40s, but the nation's capital needed another airport in the 60s, when air travel started to explode around the nation. That is why Dulles Airport was built. Number 2, well-being of residents. Due to the loud sound of jet aircraft, new airports are being constructed away from homes and businesses in order to reduce annoying noise pollution. In big cities, this is generally far away from the center and sometimes past the suburbs. Airports can also cause major traffic in the streets around them. If the airport was in the center, it would just contribute to more traffic in cities, which already have tons of it. Some have even brought up environmental concerns. Planes, cars, and other vehicles burn gas, which contributes to pollution. In cities, pollution is almost always worse than in the suburbs or rural areas. So constructing an airport away from the city won't contribute to more city pollution. Number 3, some things can be cheaper. Airports being some distance away from the city also has cost benefits. The land costs less for the owners to buy. For example, in Seattle, land in the city costs about $1.3 million per acre, but in the suburbs you can get 3, 4, 5 acres for around the same price. Another cheaper thing are parking spots. Cheaper land equals more available parking. Airports that don't serve legacy carriers can also skip on some expenses, like rolling sidewalks and beautiful fountains and other things that look cool but have no utility. This is just a generalization, and it all depends on what the owners, builders, and the people paying for the airport decide on. Some things can also be better. Things can be better and be more in quantity, like parking lots and runways. London Heathrow Airport wanted to add a third runway, but it was ruled against because of the pollution it would have caused and the nuisance it would have caused the nearby residents. If the airport was further away from the city, there's a good chance that the third runway would have been green-lighted. If more parking spots are made because there's more land, then it will also cost less for you to park your car there. Another thing that's better about more space, which requires to be further from the city. If you got this far, thank you so much for watching the video. If you want more videos like this, like and subscribe, do all the things, you've used YouTube, I'm sure. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. More coming, and peace.